Very good afternoon to all the participants who are kind enough to attend this, session on manufacturing conclave for MSME, and also big thank you to all our eminent speakers from the industry. The topic is this emerging trends and innovation in renewable energy and electronics. This is really a burning topic because in the recently the main thrust by our Prime Minister Mr. Modi on the how to develop India as a hub of renewable energy, especially in solar and wind power sector. If you see, as of December, about 34 gigawatt of utility scale solar capacity has been commissioned in India, while another 46 gigawatt is under pipeline and 34 gigawatt is under the bidding phase. The top three states in India, Rajasthan, AP, and Gujarat, where maximum installation of solar, energy has been taken place in the last 1 year. And here our panelists are Mr. Samujal Ganguly, who is President Navitas Green Solutions, who is having quite rich experience in the solar industry. Dr. Animesh Biswas, Assistant Vice President, Dobox Technology, and Mr. Debasis Banerjee, who is CEO of Fabricast Equipment. We once again welcome to our speakers who will share what are the challenges in this industry and how, what are the main things the MSME needs to do to enter this segment, because this is a new emerging segment. And and also what are the competitive edge the MSME should build, especially in modular manufacturing and EPC for project education in both rooftop as well as large projects, as it is still dominated by big players. But we want the MSME, since there will be a good growth story in the power industry, especially in the renewable space, we want more MSME to come into this thing. And we request our speakers to, speak at least 10 to 12 minutes on this opportunity in this space. Apart from this thing, we have got this session on electronics. With the supply chain disruption during the pandemic due to due to the over dependence on China by many manufacturers around the world, there is a disruption in the supply chain because most of the big corporations, especially the for semiconductor panel, dependent on China. So we feel there is an immense opportunity because for MSME to enter this segment, especially the semiconductor supply chain and manufacturing services.
BCCI for inviting me for this session. Thank you, BCCI. See, I think what Mr. Bera shared. The challenge is that till now we were generating solar power and injecting the power into the national grid, be it in Calcutta, West Bengal, Bihar, Jharkhand, or in Rajasthan, Gujarat, where solar is more populated. Now this is making the grid unstable. Why? Because the peak power required is during the evening hour, power during the evening hours. Basically, now we need to have a storage component in the renewable energy sector, be it solar, wind. Wind is much more unstable. Commitment, you cannot commit what is the wind will happen down the line. So a more amount of storage component has to go into it. There are different forms of storage which are available, but the more common form is the battery energy storage, what people are generally using. Apart from that, there are like hydro storages where you pump up the water during the off-peak hours and generate during the peak hours. But those are all very cost-intensive projects and they require a lot of permissions because lot of forest has to be cut down, water has to be stored in reservoirs, and there are a lot of issues related to those. The safest way is storage of energy through BESS, battery systems. Now, these battery technologies are different technologies are available. Basically, Navitas is a company based out of Surat. I have a small presentation just to give you the background of Navitas. It's a very small thing, and I would like to come to the subject directly from there. Can we have the presentation, please? Solar modules manufacturing. We have a 200 megawatt plant based out of Surat in Gujarat, and we are expanding to 500 megawatt by this year end. But we thought that only manufacturing solar and installing rooftop plants or ground mounted plants will not help the country. So this is the presentation is running. Next slide, please. Next slide. So Navitas, as you can see, is a panel manufacturing company specialized in solar modules, and we are also into EPC, both in rooftop and ground mounted CapEx and OpEx models. And this plant is getting enhanced to 500 megawatt by 2021. Next slide. Next slide, please.
Next slide, please.
So we have a manufacturing facility of modules. Then we have a EVA manufacturing. EVA is one of the major component that is required for encapsulation of the solar cells. This was purely imported from China. Now there are a couple of Indian manufacturers, and we are one of them. So you can count the manufacturers in hand. So we are trying to manufacture this product in India, which is a Chinese replacement. Then we are into EPC for ground mounted, rooftop, and also captive power generation. We also have expertise in hydro. We are also into asset management consultancy, where we undertake projects for operation and management. We are into solar products, lighting solutions, power generating solutions. We have launched a new product, solar cooking solution with induction system. So previously, many of us have seen solar cookers we have to put on the roof of the house, and whole day it used to take time for cooking. Now those days are gone. People don't have time. So using this induction cooker, you can cook your food in your kitchen. You don't have to go to the open sunlight and cook your food, and it is purely clean. Even I consider cooking food on gas is also not clean, because there also it is burning oxygen and you are emitting carbon dioxide. So this is a pure clean way of cooking. You can cook about 3 to 4 hours every day on this system. Then we have water purification system, water pumping solution, security and high mast lighting, and many other applications we are working on. We are also into RESCO models, where we take over assets which are not performing, revamp them, and earn through sale of power. Next slide. These are the group companies we have. We are into transformer manufacturing and servicing to Mahathi Industries, based out of Pune. We are into Magic Grids. Magic Grids is a company manufacturing fly ash blocks. It is one of the biggest company in the country with an automated line. Then we are into textile, as Surat is famous for, is a textile hub over there. And you can see there is a company called Renon. Renon is into production of lithium batteries. I will come to it, why we thought of going into this company. Next slide, please. Next slide. So here, before slide, yeah. So here, see, basically we are based out of Surat, in the western part of the country, and we are looking for channel partners who can get into our business verticals, and even we are looking for suppliers. Now, you can close the presentation. Thank you. Now, why why I showed you the Renon. See, basically we were discussing about storage of power. So lead acid is one solution which is already available. We are also into contract manufacturing of lead acid battery, where our small products, they use lead acid batteries. And parallelly, for big projects and for EV applications, we are manufacturing lithium battery packs. Now, both the technologies are available. I think with using these technologies, we can take care of this storage part for the grid and make the grid much more stable. Now, where to go for lithium and where to go for lead acid, it is a question of calculations and other environmental conditions. If you see way back in 10 years, 20 years ago, in our houses, we used to have small inverters. So they used to have lead acid battery. So it is also a type of energy storage. So every household in small cities or small towns had an inverter, and this used to act as a energy storage. Now people are trying to connect a solar module with this system and have a household system of energy storage. Now this has two advantages. First advantage is that you have a solar system where you can get power without going into net metering or gross metering. Now net metering and gross metering, there is a huge turmoil happening all over the country, because net metering is a loss-making proposition to the DISCOMs. DISCOMs are trying to come out of the net metering policies and schemes, and they are going to gross metering. Whereas this product which we are manufacturing does not require net metering. It can power all your loads during availability of sunlight, and at the same time store the extra energy into the battery. The other advantage is that even if you have a rooftop solar system, that rooftop solar system can only generate power during the day. If there is a power cut, it stops generating power. So even during the day, if there is a power cut, the entire energy is lost, solar energy. And in the night time, it cannot be of any use, because if there is a power cut in the night time, it does not have any storage. But the systems we are proposing with battery backup, they are both available in lead acid and lithium models. So this can give you energy backup during even dark hours, in the evening, night, whenever there is a power cut, you can get. So I think this will, to some extent, this type of products to some extent will reduce the load on the national grid and make it much more stable, because here the peak hours, it is being taken care of by the solar system. So I think we can discuss on this topic. Other speakers are there. I think they will put more light.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Ganguly. Over to Dr. Animesh Viswas to throw some light on the topics of the today.
Thank you, Mr. Vera. First of all, I'm not a doctorate yet. I'm a management professional on the way to become a doctor. So thank you so much, the Bengal Chamber of Commerce and all the esteemed participants for enabling me to speak on a topic which is very pertinent today. I come from a company called Debox, which has been one of the pioneer in software making, and we have made some of the products which were never been envisaged in the past. When I say never been envisaged, that it is very surprising for a country of our size that we still don't have an operating system. All the electronics and everything only operates when you have a connecting bloodline, which is software. So just giving a little brief about us, we are an indigenous setup. We have made some product which are Indian IPR based. We have made India's only cyber secure phone. The software is indigenous, completely built in India by a very young team, and it has been placed on a mobile which is made in India. Only the chip has been the part which is not in India made, but the rest of the components are India. So you can see the capabilities which we can drive. The only thing which we lack over is scalability. But fortunately, I would see this Corona pandemic and the issue as a blessing in disguise. As Mr. Bera rightly said, the world's entire supply chain went into shackles when China did not produce enough, and then we suddenly understood there is a dependency on China which may throttle the business in the future also. It's a wake up call for industry leaders. It's a wake up call for the industry. It's a wake up call for the country itself. It's a wake up call for the government also. we have been working on a lot of government initiative, which is Indianization, but suddenly after this, you see a lot of engagement, a lot of product development happening around this particular thing. The point I'm trying to make here is this: uh, this is the time we can claim India can claim its place upon the global scale. How does it happen? It happens because if you go around in Bangalore, if you move in Hyderabad, if you go to Gurgaon, if you go to Noida, you see a lot of startup companies which are making very very innovative products, which has been never been envisaged. Just to give you a brief background, what makes America a leader today and what makes China a leader, that both of the countries invest heavily on startups. They have made a very well developed ecosystem of startups where the technology is nurtured in startup hubs and it is utilized by the very large MNCs. Just to give an example, everybody today is dependent upon WhatsApp. Now we are seeing a WhatsApp model. We are seeing a business model in electronics industry also, which is way beyond our imagination. All these things happened at the time of the late 90s and 2000, when the government thought and the industry thought that we have to invest in the startups. That is one part. How do we move forward, and what is the current scenario, which I will, because I'm an electronics engineer, so as my forte, when I passed my engineering, so the obvious choice was to go into electronic industry. But fortunately, unfortunately, there was not enough space. I worked in Microsoft. I worked in other parts of the country, world also. So the basic loophole was that we were not able to get on the bus of large electronic manufacturing country. If you go to Vietnam, you see a small country what they can do in manufacturing electronics, manufacturing any item which is desirable by the any industry. But fortunately, with a lot of government initiatives, the things are changing. We are already a $400 billion market for electronics, but we only produce $100 billion products for the market, which is currently in India. So there is a lag of almost $250 billion market. So $215 billion market is still unaddressed by Indian companies. The target of government in 2025 is to export 100 crore phone, in which 60 crore mobile phones would be manufactured for the country. So you can see it's beyond imagination, what electronic capability can do. So as you rightly said, Mr. Vera, there are a lot of challenges, but the future looks very bright. Why it looks bright? Because, just to give some examples, suddenly you see that after the China fiasco and our dependency on China now suddenly have decreased. Mr. Ganguly rightly brought a point. When the corona pandemic hit us, we did not manufacture any single PPE kit in the country. Now we are the largest exporter of PPE kit. So which has happened within matter of 6 months time. So we have the capabilities. We have, if the right desire is there, it can be turned around. If we can make PP kits in just a jiffy of time, we can make electronic kits also. The need of the hour is industry seniors like you, the veterans, industry men. They have to collaborate with youngsters, with young startups, because technology is taking leaps and bounds. I would come to the industry sector about Industry 4.0, which can turn around any manufacturing on a large scale. So, keeping my this opening statement very short, I think the future is quite bright, but we have to understand one aspect, that experience and energy has to go together. So that should be the way forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Biswas. Over to Mr. Devasis Banerjee. I think you are on mute. You are not audible. Shantan, can you help?
Yeah, yeah. Am I audible now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you, BCCI, for giving me this opportunity, to speak regarding the re-emergence of India and the renewable sector, which has been long neglected for. I mean, we we should surge ahead. Me, being the head of an MSME unit and manufacturing Philwell brand LED lights. So there is a very very good and very wide market opportunity for MSME sectors. I would rather thrust on how MSME can improve upon, the get into this manufacturing of the huge opportunities that are in front of us, like Mr. Biswas have been saying. So COVID in a way has been an eye opener for us, and India's demand for electricity has been surging. Solar being one of the areas that are being catered into, because there is a huge demand of electricity, and we know power stations have their own limitations because of the fossil fuels. Now, another aspect that we really need to look into, along with the solar aspect, is the light that we are using. Till 2014, we have been accustomed in using CFL mainly. Now, after 2014, LED came in. LED being an energy saving module of generating electricity, where you can, it has a long, life. So it gradually changed our idea from using CFL to using LED. And LED became the main thrust factor or the main lighting media in our country. Of course, there have been certain government schemes and facilities like the Ujala schemes. Ujala actually helped us to bring the cost of LED bulbs from rupees 400 to around rupees 70 because of the wide usage. In 2018, we have been able to save around 30 terawatt of current, terawatt hour current, which is a huge saving on our part because of the usage of LED lamps. And we have a figure of what are the lights we are manufacturing and the opportunities that MSME units or any startup, if they go in for manufacturing of quality light and more, different types of lights, rather than the lights that are being used in standard by other companies. So there is a quite a big aspect into generating and saving our energy in a big way. So that could really reduce our energy consumption pattern in India and help us lot to strive. Again, LED being the electronics industry, we have to depend heavily on China for our imports of components. That is again something that we really need to look forward, and we have to build our own, as was been explained, our own semiconductor industry. We have to upscale it. So that is something, another aspect we really need to. I think this is the more the person people get into the manufacturing sectors, I mean, they start their own startups or their own ventures in lighting or in other solar areas. Wind is still very new to us. We can really make India very self-reliant. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Banerjee. It is quite, thank you to all the speakers. It is quite insightful in each of these. I have got one or two questions to Mr. Ganguly. What are the top three things that you feel most important for a MSME to enter into the solar sectors in a small way, not a big investment?
Mr. Bera, I think what Mr. Biswas was telling, I think that sounds very interesting. See, basically, if you have to make products to compete Chinese market, you have to at least adopt the Chinese model of working.
Yeah.
I've been in China for a couple of times and I've seen they're working from very close. There are companies who are only into R&D.
Yeah.
They only do R&D, and they, after the product is developed, they give it to manufacturing houses, and the manufacturing houses, they produce in bulk. If you produce in bulk, you have many advantages. First advantage is that the quality of the product becomes very good because he's specialized not in R&D, he's specialized in production only.
Yeah.
So the finishing, the quality becomes excellent. If you buy a Chinese product, the appearance of the product is so good that you will not touch similar products from Indian manufactured. And the second thing is that they are into now getting orders from different R&D organizations. So they are into bulk production.
Yeah.
So bulk production, as Mr. Banerjee told, that Ujala scheme, because of huge requirement, the prices has come down. So when you go into a bulk production, the cost will come down. So your manufacturing cost becomes very, very low, and you are able to compete with anybody in the world.
Yeah.
I think first of all, we can always improve on this model. But first of all, the MSMEs should think in two aspects. One is the finishing and the quality. Because everybody would like to have a product which looks very good and works and have systems or intelligence as good as a Chinese product. You see the toys and the cost they give us. This is because of bulk production, and the molds they can use when they are going into bulk production doesn't cost them much when they are doing bulk production. But if you are doing very low production, the mold will be very costly to you, and you will not get good finishing out of the materials.
Yeah.
And the second thing is improve on the working mechanism. As I told, let there be startup companies like Mr. Biswas's company who get involved only in designing because that is their brain. Let them get into new thing designing, and let there be MSME companies who comes and joins hand with companies like Mr. Biswas to bring to the market good products which are like maybe better than Chinese products.
Yeah, but recently I was reading in a media that the government is going to impose the anti-dumping. I think July 22 on modular mounting. This thing modules. I think so. How it is going to impact in a positive way to our Indian industry?
See, if you consider solar modules, I think you're
Yeah,
talking about
yeah.
solar modules. As we said, as in my presentation I showed you, we started manufacturing EVA.
Yeah.
That is the one of the material required for encapsulations.
Yeah.
So if government doesn't impose duties, nobody seriously will go into manufacturing.
Yeah.
Till today, apart from Borosil, most of the solar glasses are imported. Borosil is manufacturing glass.
Yeah.
So once duties are imposed, then people will be very much interested in going into manufacturing of raw materials for solar modules. You see, all companies in India, there are a handful of companies you can count in one hand who manufacture solar cells.
Yeah.
All these companies were into loss for last few years. Now, because government has put a domestic content, these people are seeing some profit. End of the day, anybody who is investing money in the industry is investing money in the working capital, putting up factories, putting up business verticals, is looking for some profit. End of the day, if you don't have profit, what is the use of doing a business?
Exactly.
So if government doesn't encourage, government doesn't need to give any subsidies. I think we should come out of this subsidy regime. Subsidy should be stopped at one go. No subsidies. You make rules and let the rules drive it.
Yeah.
So if dumping is imposed, anti-dumping or similar duties, I think it will not kill the industry. It will make the industry much more healthy because people will have much more better margins, and I think they will be able to deliver better materials.
And I thank you so much. It is very interesting point.
Mr. Biswas,
Yeah, Mr. Biswas.
Just as the extension of Sir's point, that wanted to make a point across, if you allow me, Mr. Bera.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Look, he is right that the government should be enabler, not the decision maker. So the dumping laws or whatever, as we call our duty laws, for a certain amount of time, they does give you a leeway across the industry. What happens that as a MSME or as a small company, you need a certain condition environment. You need some preferential market access so that in the eventual years you become like somebody who can compete. I'll give you example of some companies in across US and European markets and China itself. The government prima facie gave them an environment, and the government became the buyer also along with the industry consumers. What happened in the eventual process due to that profit zone, they were able to become a large MNC. Mr. Ganguly is 100% right that every businessman enters into business to make profit, and he or she sees profitability after a certain point of time. But as a hand holding, there must be effort from both. I am adding a point that the government has to have effort, plus the industry also has to have a mindset of using Indian products, indigenous products. Just making Indian products for Indian market never will help in a long. The mindset of encouraging the Indian setup also needs to be there, because India is a very price sensitive market. Obviously, price is a critical factor for making any business profitable. But the industry, large players, organizations like Mr. Ganguly and Devashish, and they should also have a thought in the process that uh, giving little edge to Indian startup eventually makes their profitability large. So that's the point I wanted to make. It's the effort of the government and the industry as a consumer also.
Thank you so much. Very interesting
I will
point.
just add on over here, Mr.
Yeah.
Biswas. Nowadays, people want to buy Indian products. I know a very big company, they are the biggest taxpayer in West Bengal. They purchased huge amount of solar modules from abroad. Now they are having problem abroad. I mean, tier one companies, not small players in China or something like that. They imported. They had a fascination. We'll buy modules from imported companies, not Indian manufacturers. Now they have a problem with the service. So now they are running behind the manufacturer and not getting service. Now they are telling we will now buy modules from Indian companies only. So that mindset is coming slowly, but we have to improve on service, improve on product quality, and as you told, price. People will not pay you extra money for buying from India. They can give you matching price of Chinese products, but they will not give you any extra. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely a very good point, Mr. Ganguly, because over a period of time, because Judge Mr. Biswas has clearly told, enabling the MSME, after over a period of time, once the manufacturing process, everything, and some competitive edge they have built up, then they will set up their own marketing and other things, which will compete with global market. So ideally, China, Japan, and Korea, they have done that way. So in initial stages, government intervention in enabling the business is critical thing. Any thought on this thing, Mr. Banerjee?
Yes, these are the points that definitely needs to be looked into. Apart from that, if we talk of the Indian market, like we are operating in an open market in Bengal. So we are supplying, manufacturing and supplying LED lights. One of the problems that we face is that there is a regular usage of credit facility, and credit to the tune of it's an unlimited credit facility, and this system has been in operations since the beginning. And all the tier one manufacturers, you name the big brands, they have put this system in operations. So for MSME units like us, who are keen on developing products that are as per BIS standard or BIS certified, and then selling those products with a credit line. After a certain point, it becomes a bit difficult for us to operate. I think this is one aspect that something has to be done, because bank really don't go all the way to finance your project and give you that leverage. So after a certain point of time, operations become a bit difficult. There is another aspect to it, is that companies, tier one companies in lighting sector who are operating on pan India basis, they have a tendency to buy products directly from the China. They have their line manufacturing set up in China. From there, they are assembling or buying or semi knockdown condition. They are getting it done, and they are bringing in India, and then through their different warehouses, they are simply distributing. Now, we all know that China is way above us in terms of manufacturing. We have been a service oriented country, but our manufacturing setup had just started. So it is again another problem that we really face as an MSME. This thing.
Thank you so much. And Sayantan, is there any question? We can take some 2-3 questions from the audience. Okay. Then thank you for the very good sessions, and thank you so much the speakers as well as the participants who are viewing this seminar. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Vera.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.